Hey there, campers. While we're gathering around the campfire, we just want to let you know we are not what you would call experts. What we do have is a love for researching and discussing the lore of cryptids, creatures,
and an occasional spooky woman that can eat our soul.
So if you are in need of immediate help with the chupacabra in your yard, please consult someone else.
Also, this podcast isn't for kids. These campfire stories can contain graphic and explicit content that may not be suitable for young campers, so listener discretion is advised.
Hey campers, my name is Kimmy. I am here with my co-host Ryan.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to Aloreing, our folklore podcast, where we tell you the history and stories of different legends and lore from just all over the world. I used my notes today. Could you tell?
Oh my god, there's some miracles happening
Things
around
are
the
happening.
world. God, Jesus Christ, wow. Some things can't here. Wow, you know what? This
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know. Listen, it is going to be one of those episodes. There's a lot going on in our lives, in the world.
Yeah, I'd say the world, really.
Just the world
yeah,
is just
not looking hot, but alas, here we are.
We're alive.
Riding it out, yeah.
Riding it fucking out is the best word for it.
That said, what did you find alluring this week?
I actually think, on the note of riding it out, you should go first on what you find
speaking of riding it out.
Alluring.
So I've surrounded myself with very I don't know a more polite way to put this, horny people in my life.
Beautiful.
And
I'm proud of you.
They've all convinced me to start reading books, but the books they have been recommending me have just been getting more and more wild, to put it nicely. None of them have been. So they got me to read the entire Court of Thorns and Roses, which isn't too bad.
It's the gateway.
It was definitely a gateway drug. They got me on Fourth Wing now, which has not been as bad as Court of Thorns and Roses, but they have a list for me, so I'm going down the book talk girly pipeline.
Beautiful.
Thanks to my roommate and coworkers who have been a very bad influence on me. They're like, "Oh, you're stressed out. Simply ignore the world and listen to audiobooks about elves just fucking banging each other, or fairies. Sorry, not elves. Fairies. Different, yeah.
It is different.
Yeah.
Listen,
and boy, do they do be banging.
They got it right. Listen, when you want to get more into the fanfic side, I got some Draco Hermione ones for you.
I don't think I can get that far into it. I like to keep my Harry Potter pure.
Just saying,
really
there's ones
judging,
with them
really
as
judging
professors.
Harry Potter.
Listen, them as professors, life-changing stuff. It is a stressful climate we're in.
I'm judging your Harry Potter parties a little more now that I know you're reading Harry Potter fanfic and are not going purely off source material anymore.
It's only those two. I feel a lot of judgment
there's a little bit of judgment, but that's okay. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to apparently just read about fairies. The amount of times they say, like, just say penis, like they try and use so many different words for penis in these books. They're like, the length of him, his manhood,
Me
his
is the one that makes me
he
uncomfortable.
unsheathed his sword. It's like,
Yeah.
just say penis. Like, come on. And even vagina, they're like, and she revealed his sex to him. And
Yeah.
I'm like, just say the word. You don't we know what you're saying,
They
like
just
you're
gotta get creative with it,
I
you know?
guess. Yeah. It's I've learned some creative words. Yeah. That's all I have to say about that. What did you find
This is
Aloreing?
gonna be a great episode. I am so glad of how this episode has started. Because I know what this episode topic is, and I know the people that are going to ping onto this episode to
Mhm.
research it, and it
Yep.
is completely opposite from what this intro message
Yeah.
is.
I don't know. I haven't Googled this one yet to see how many pages I gotta go. So we'll go to
It's
DeviantArt and I'll be the judge of that.
it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
so beautiful. Oh man, today's a
Speaking of
great day.
DeviantArt, what did you find
Deviant.
Aloreing this week?
Wow. Well, I haven't been reading any of my fanfic this week because I've just been mentally spiraling. I've been booking all my
Pretty
doctor
universal.
appointments. But
Ooh. The once a year just barrage of get them all out of the way.
Yeah, that's
I'm the same way.
I was like, "Oh yeah, I have dental and
Mhm.
I haven't had dental like from my jobs before
Yeah.
because that's how it was, right? B You can go to school and get a design degree. That doesn't mean you'll ever have jobs that want to pay for dental.
Dental insurance, yeah.
Yeah, and I
Like the
haven't gone.
cheapest insurance and works are like, nah.
They're like, "Nah." They're
Yeah,
like,
you
"You
don't
wanna
need it.
clean your outside bones? We're not gonna
Nah.
do that."
Yeah.
And then I, like, went there and they were like I was like, "Oh, man, I'm probably gonna have, like, 3 cavities. It's been 2 years." And they were like, "Wow, your teeth are amazing. Not a single one." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck yeah."
Nice.
Sparkling. And now I'm,
Yeah.
like, so worried for my other appointments. I was like, "There's gotta
Yeah.
be one."
See, here's my strategy. You book them all in January, right? They
Right.
either tell you we'll see you next January, or they tell you we're not going to see you next January. Either way, it's all good. You have till next
That's okay.
January to worry about it.
That's true. I chose to do the end of the year stress,
Oh,
and
that's
so
yeah, perfect time. The holidays,
yeah.
like yeah, it's a very unstressful time.
Very unstressful time. I
Yeah,
just no stress at all. So
yeah.
my alarming thing is I got no cavities, I
Hey,
guess. A win's a win.
we love a clean teeth girly.
Listen,
So proud.
coconut, the secret is
Yeah.
coconut pool oil. That will
Oh,
change
I've
y'all's life.
yeah, I've
This-
never had a cavity.
Wow, that is impressive.
Do I
I have had like
floss?
3.
Nope.
Really? Disgusting.
I get my teeth flossed twice a year by my amazing dental hygienist. So, okay, here's the thing, right? I have caps, um not from what's the word I just said?
Dental hygienist?
No,
Flossing?
cavities. They're
Caps?
not caps from cavities. The teeth just grew in and they just were like little nubs, so they're like, "Oh, we'll give you real teeth." Um
Okay.
so one time I flossed and that cap popped right off and I was like, never doing that again. So I just leave it. I brushed my teeth very well. I use a nice toothbrush and mouthwash and no cavities. That's all you need.
Oh man.
Flossing is a dental scam. You heard it here first, folks. Don't fall for big dental trying to sell you minty string to put between your teeth. It's a lie.
Oh man.
Hmm. It's as real as Bigfoot. So different parts of the audience are going to take that how they will. So
Speaking of things that are absolute lies, let's get into this week's episode
whoa,
topic.
calling it
Whoa,
out early.
whoa,
Shit.
whoa! It's gonna be one of those episodes. Let's cue those sweet, sweet. Oh no, you do the cold open. I rushed
He
it.
thought it might be one of the watchers who are often seen in the length of the coast range. Forms that look human to human eyes, but certainly are not human. What the heck is that? What are we talking about?
Ooh. So picture this.
Okay.
Close your eyes, everybody, unless you're driving. Just close one
No,
eye.
do it anyway.
Close your mind's eye.
Yeah.
Picture this. You're hiking in the rural Santa Luca Mountains on a
Mm-hmm.
nice I said that. I didn't research it. Fuck it. We're just going with it today.
It's fine.
The nice autumn night.
Wait,
The
one second.
temperatures
I gotta get my eyes closed again. Okay.
Okay, sorry, I ruined it.
Okay.
Okay, we're
Picturing
back here.
Santa Luca Mountains.
Santa Luca Mountains on a nice autumn night. The temperature's
Mm-hmm.
just right, and the sun hits that perfect golden hour.
Beautiful.
And the
Love it.
smell of the salty West Coast breeze is blowing right through your hair.
That's a salty breeze right there.
Okay, everything feels calm,
Mm-hmm.
quiet, a
Mm-hmm.
bit too quiet. It feels as if you're being watched, as if someone's watching you, and the peaceful moment in nature turns into panic. But the moment you turn to confront whoever or whatever is creeping up on you, you see nothing. And that sense of someone watching you seems to dissipate. Now, you may just shake it off and carry on your way back home, thinking nothing of it. But what if I told you you may have just experienced one of California's most mysterious cryptids? Ooh.
I'd believe you.
So, this week we'll be talking about the aloof darkwatchers. So, this is the illustration for this one. These mysterious cryptids. Oh, I've been really bad. This is how this episode's going to go, everybody. Audio listeners, head to our blog, go to aloreing.com, or check out our YouTube, or go to our Instagram, all our socials, and you can see this illustration for yourself. Go to our shop. You guys know the drill. If you're new, you'll figure it out. Find a buddy. They'll tell you what to do.
The illustration's kind of giving will-o-wisp, but you took like the like morph tool and just kind of went like
yeah. It's just
that's
like
the vibe it's given.
Wispy shadows in a jar, but with like the Scooby Doo creepy monster eyes,
like goth will-o-wisps, kind of.
It's like the goth dad will-o-the-wisp because like it's trying to be cool, but it's not quite there.
Disagree. It's pretty cool.
Oh, thank you. I still don't like the colors. I may change the color from the time I publish this episode.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
and here's the thing: not a single person will know. Well, no. I will. But
you will.
It'll
keep you up at night, but only you.
Yeah. Why? Anyway.
So, these mysterious cryptids have been part of American folklore near California's west coast for more than 300 years. God damn it. To this day, there are still hundreds of reports of these dark watchers roaming the mountain range, keeping an eye on all those who wander into the forest. So, what are the origins of the dark watchers? So, though their exact origins are unknown, some speculate these mysterious creatures go back thousands of years and can be traced back to the pre-colonial oral stories of the Chumash, indigenous people that have lived along the central coast of California and the Channel Islands for 13,000 years. So, sadly, many researchers haven't been able to find any connections of the Dark Watchers after consulting the texts on the Chumash mythology. So, this could mean like one of two things: that they don't have any type of Dark Watchers in their stories, and like we just think there may be because they've been around for so long and they're natives to the land, or there were some type of creature like it in their mythology, and then so much time has passed and so much oral like tales have passed that we just don't have record of it anymore.
13,000 years, long time.
It is a long time. I can't even remember what I had for lunch 3 days ago. So things can get lost. I don't even know what I had for lunch today. I don't even remember if I ate lunch today. That's how my day is going. So the earliest written accounts of these creatures do date back to the 1700s. So when the Spanish colonists referred to them as the Los Vigilantes Oscuros, which translates to the Dark Watchers,
That's a
aka
sick name. I just want to throw that
yeah,
out there. Los
this
Vigilantes.
listen, this is your guys' next D&D villain or anti-hero.
Mm-hmm.
Write it down, put it in your notes. Trust me. Or ooh, this would be a really good. What's the name of a wrestler? Of a luchadora? Is that what it
Oh,
is?
Luchador, yeah.
This would be a really badass luchadora name.
It's like the dark vigilante. That's Batman. The dark. I feel like the literal translation is the dark vigilante, which is Batman.
This is the
Is this
luchadora
is
version
this?
of Batman.
I don't even know if this is the luchador version of Batman.
This is
This
just
might just
Batman.
be Batman. Batman does wear a mask. Holy shit.
It's the Dark Watcher, just Batman.
And is Batman a luchador? These are
It needs to be the Spider-Man meme. Where it's the three.
it's very possible. I'm just throwing it out there.
You've never seen the three of them in the same room, so it makes
Hmm.
sense.
I'm sure in the infinite universes of Batman, there's at least one Spanish Batman.
There has to
Throwing it out
be.
there.
I'm
And
so
he's a cryptid in California. He
I
left Gotham.
I have a coworker and she is all about DC Comics.
Ask her, get her
I'm
opinion.
going to ask her. I'm like, strange question. What do you
Yeah.
know about Spanish Batman? So I'll get back to you guys on that. All right. Where were we?
Updates
Spanish
will be in
Batman.
Discord.
There we go. So some believe that the Dark Watchers were Spanish colonists that had perished on the way to the ocean, and they were watching over
Ooh.
the ones that were now attempting the same trip because it was a harsh journey, so much could happen, unexplored lands. It was dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Others said they were just lost spirits because we had natives there. There was so much that could have been there before. So they're just lost souls that are wandering through the forest. So that could be it. So, even though it's unclear who the Dark Watchers are, there are many documented encounters with them. So, the most famous one, and coincidentally, one of the first ones, was written by author John Steinbeck in his 1938 short story, Flight, which sums up the myth in this short passage. Um, so Pepe, so this um he kind of like wrote like a little kind of like short story in a way,
Okay.
but it is about like the experience, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
little real, little fake. So Pepe looked suspiciously back every minute or so, and his eyes sought to the tops of the ridges ahead. Once on a white iron spur, and he saw a black figure for a moment, but he looked away quickly away, and for it was one of the Dark Watchers. No one knew who the Watchers were, nor where they lived, but it was better to ignore them and never to show interest in them. They did not bother one who stayed on the trail and minded his own business.
They're
So,
just chilling,
John.
just like Batman. Mind your own business. Batman minds your business, you know?
I
Just throwing
I'm
it out
so
there. There's
I'm
connections.
so I'm so
Water
disappointed I
take
didn't make
spoilers. Batman.
I'm just disappointed I didn't think of this first. It's just all it
Hey,
is.
sometimes, you got to read it out loud to
Like,
really comprehend.
to connect all the dots,
Mm-hmm.
You gotta step away from it and hear you gotta
Exactly.
hear someone else say it.
Exactly.
So the writer John, his mother Olivia, would even tell legends of how the Dark Watchers weren't evil but kind. So when she was a little girl, she would leave gifts such as food and trinkets along the trail for them. And when she would return, the Dark Watchers would replace the gifts with flowers as a way of saying thanks.
Hmm.
So this may be like something cute her mom could have done.
Yeah.
But I like to think that the Dark Watchers were kind of watching over her to keep her safe. So, another documented encounter at the time was written by Robin Jeffers in 1937. So, this was like a year before, but same time. And it's a more poetic form. So, it's in his collection of poems titled Such Counsels You Gave to Me and Other Poems. And he wrote the poem. So it's like a really long poem. This is just
Yeah.
like a pull out from it because I do not have the time nor mental capacity to do the whole thing. So he thought it might be one of the Watchers, who are often seen in the length of a coast range forms that look human to human eyes, but certainly are not human. They come from behind ridges to watch. But when he approached it, he recognized the shabby cloths and pale hair, and even the avert foreheads and concave line from the eye to the jaw. And so he was not surprised when the figure turning towards him in the quiet twilight showed his own face. Then it melted and merged into the shadows beyond it. Now, these were just some of the many sightings that helped snowball the legend of the Dark Watchers into what it is today. Of course, the story only grew in popularity as time went on. Newspapers started to warn people to watch their back and avoid these spirits. Even during the mid 60s, Monterey local, who was a principal of a local high school, I don't know why that's relevant. Every story said that was relevant.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like street cred, I don't know. But he said like he was hiking a mountain one time and he called out to some fellow hikers because he saw them and they just disappeared. But regardless, everyone was kind of seeing them. And to this very day, dark watchers are a cautionary told to outdoor explorers who find themselves roaming the hills and peaks of the Santa Lucia Mountains of California, the mountain migas, and the mountain grum of Arizona around sunset. They are warned that they may experience an uneasy feeling of being watched and that they can just shake these ominous spirits watching over them. Ooh.
Hmm.
So this is definitely a shorter cryptid folklore, but it was very highly requested from people. It was very interesting and it had a shit ton of sightings. This is like next to Nessie, the most sightings I've ever seen
Oh
on a
wow.
cryptid. Next to and next to Bigfoot. So, which was pretty interesting.
That's a lot. I've actually, before we started working on this one, I've never actually heard of it. So I'm surprising there's like so many. I guess California, very large state. So, but
Yeah, and well, like it's really interesting because I do feel this creature when we get more into appearance gets confused a lot with the Hat Man.
yeah.
And I feel because
Oh, okay.
they aren't ominous and they
Yeah.
aren't malicious, people kind of bypass it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about it later too, but I feel the location definitely has an effect
Yeah.
on like how people perceive it as well. So this was just
When
kind of
with the Dark Watchers, you're allowed to take Benadryl because you don't owe them money, so show up in your
yeah,
yeah.
Batman's not going to beat you up for having
No.
Benadryl.
Yeah, exactly. The Hat Man would.
The Hat Man would.
Um,
That's the difference between Batman and the Hat Man
yeah.
is
And the
Benadryl
Dark
intake.
Watchers, neither. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, so let's get into short stories and sightings. This first one, I'm actually going off script a little because I found a summary of a movie about the Dark Watchers, actually.
Oh, cool.
So, The Dark Watchers, the 2008 film, follows the Dark Watchers, Gotham's vigilante hero, as he faces his greatest challenge, the Joker, a chaotic and sadistic criminal mastermind who seeks to prove that even the best of men can fall. And with the support of his trusted allies, James Gordon, the police lieutenant, he's able to save the California mountain range from. Kimmy has walked away from the podcast. This is now a solo show, so I don't know what to tell you guys. This is just from Wikipedia. I don't know when she's coming back. So we're just gonna keep going. Oh, hey, welcome back.
Did you get it out of your system?
Yeah, and
Okay.
what's crazy is like even though we don't have a live chat, like I could read the chat just saying how interesting that story was, and they're all really confused why you walked away. Um, all right, but anyway, well, guess we'll do the Kimmy approved stories. All right, this first one is
Sometimes you
um,
just have to walk away, and
and
for
see what
your
happens.
own mental health is you have to know when to just get up and walk away,
Mm-hmm.
because the reality of the
It's an
situation
important
is I
lesson.
will edit this episode and I will hear that, and I
Mm-hmm. And
only
walk
have the
away
mental
again. Yeah.
capacity to hear
Like
it once.
oh well, technically you're gonna hear it twice, but anyway, so the first story is from June Lake, California, and this is a sighting. So up
Oh
here in the
man.
eastern Sierras, we see the dark watchers all the time. They're always out at dusk and dawn, and all you see is a tall, dark silhouette. They almost look like horses standing on their hind legs with the assistance of a walking stick. So a little different than the other descriptions. Um, Either way, pretty creepy. And nobody has ever seen them close up because they disappear as you get closer. So that was C. Gardner's account for June Lake,
Yeah,
2011.
I don't like the horse leg thing. I did think that one was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, everyone sees it differently. So this is Elizabeth Benitez of San Mateo, California in 2013. One day, my friend and I were coming back from Los Angeles. We passed the San Luis Obispo Reservoir, and as we drove on the road, I saw something at the distance down at the end of the mountain. It was a really big human figure, but it wasn't. It had a black cape, kind of like a Grim Reaper, and was leaning over holding to a staff in a puddle of water. So, two for two on it holding a staff.
Mhm.
Um, or so that's what it seemed like at the distance. It was in the daytime, so I couldn't identify it wasn't a person. Even in mid light, he was very black and reminded me of a raven. I told my friend that was driving to look over the mountains, and surprisingly, she was able to see a glimpse of it. I asked her what she saw without giving her my details, and she said exactly what I saw. She only looked at it for about 5 seconds, but she was able to see it. She almost lost control of the car too when she looked away at it, and I begged her to go back and see it, but she was very tired of driving already. The Dark Watchers are real. I mean,
Ooh.
of like all the like random cryptids we've done, like this one, I think plausible because I mean, we hear about all the creepy shit in like the Appalachian Mountains. The West
Mhm.
Coast has a lot of mountain ranges too that are very barren. No comparison to the Appalachian Mountains, but um, there's weird shit out there.
I'm a big believer, the more you get into a mountain, the more believable I feel like the
Yeah,
cryptid is.
just where
Does that make
humans
sense?
aren't supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the deeper the ocean, the more believable the creature is to
Oh
me.
yeah. Yeah.
Like the more shallow, the less like the beast of Buskow compared to a
Yeah.
siren. Like I
Yeah.
believe in a siren more, but the beast of Buskow, I'm like, that's a shallow
Well, that's a
pond.
turtle. Yeah. So that one we could just go into the pond. The ocean is massive. Any
Right.
ocean based cryptid possible. It's a fifty
Right.
fifty. Like
Right.
all right. This
That's really where our believability scale
yeah.
lies.
Is it somewhere that's really hard to explore, like a mountain or an ocean?
Yeah.
Much more plausible than a lake.
Pretty
Um,
much where we wouldn't want to explore alone is a better
yeah, yeah.
explanation for it.
So this one was submitted anonymously again out of California back in 2018. So I was hiking up a remote trail up the 33 in Ojia, I believe. I was about an hour up the mountain, no people, no cars in sight. And as I was hiking, I had this eerie feeling I was being watched. I looked up at the top of the mountain and I saw a black figure. I waved jokingly, not really thinking the object was a person, but it waved back. Thinking I was maybe tripping or that it was a tree waving in the wind, I took a puff of my cigarette only to see the figure blow out a plume of smoke as well. I started seeing it flowing, and I say flowing, almost floating vertically. I ran like hell back to my car, spraining my knee in the process. Ooh.
Mm.
Well, don't do that. That's the worst way to get away from a cryptid.
you
Um,
gotta stretch a little before you
mm-hmm.
sprint.
Then last one is from Michael of Thousand Oaks, California in 2019. So these are very recent. Um, so I've camped a few times in the Santa Lucia Range near Cone Peak, right near the coast and the one. We were camping on some of the coastal ridges where overlooking the ocean and definitely experienced some very strange energy. My first time up there were three of us. Neither of us were familiar with them at this time, and I chalked it up to trees. Then we slept that night. We felt an indescribable discomfort and decided to keep driving north the next morning. Good call. Get out of there. And yeah, so those are, like I said, very recent sightings. Like, we don't get sightings from the 2010s too often.
Right. And this was really interesting. I tried to pull like just some recent ones. There was a bunch of like really short ones.
Yeah.
I tried to there's some that I felt were kind of like cringy. I
Oh,
was like
naturally.
mm. And there were some I felt were a lot. I try to pull ones that I felt like described it in like a very simple way where they were like, I think this is what it was. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. The first one
And
with the horse like silhouette was like the only one that was drastically different from the others. But I mean, they may have just been saying like it was tall as shit, you know?
yeah, and that's what I kind of understood from it growing up with a brother that looked like Jack Skellington because he's so tall, but
Did he have a walking stick and like to hang out in the California mountains?
no, but that would make more sense, you know,
Yeah.
like it would all come
What was he doing in April of 2019?
I just messaged him. I was like, "Can you tell me what you were doing on
Yeah.
these dates?"
I'm gonna need to know where you were June 2018, December 2013, February 2011, and April 2019.
And my mom's like, "He really liked to go to California for some reason." I was like, "In
Hmm,
high school?
interesting.
Interesting."
Very interesting. You know what else is interesting?
What else
The
is
Aloreing
interesting?
shop. Let's go to a dang commercial break. Weep
Oh,
weep. Everyone's favorite time of the episode. Don't touch that dial. The holidays are not only approaching, Kimmy, they're here, which is crazy because I'm
what?
pretty sure it's only February, but turns out it's basically December. So not too late. Get your holiday shopping in at
I bet.
aloringshop.com. We got just about everything: t-shirts, hats, blankets,
It's so
artworks.
festive.
It's so festive.
So festive.
Be the only person who shows up to
Festive.
your work not Halloween, Jesus, Christmas party wearing a Krampus shirt, because I
God.
know I'll be rocking my Krampus shirt at the Halloween. It's not
Festive.
Halloween, it's Christmas. I will be rocking my Krampus shirt at my work Christmas party while everyone else is dressed all holly jolly, because it's the only way to go. So get in there.
Keep it festive.
Yeah, keep it
Festive.
festive.
Festive. That's all I got. Festive.
Yeah.
Festive. Festive. Okay.
All right. Let's
I
get back to the freaking Hat Man, shall we?
yeah, let's do it.
Beep
I
boop, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop.
I thought I had my soundboard working and it doesn't, so I have to do everything in post.
Hey,
God damn
what's
it.
your favorite?
Oh, it's gonna be one of those days. God damn it. Okay. Welcome back, campers. We hope you enjoyed that little break. Now we're going to talk about the appearance and some little history about darkwatchers. And this is one of those episodes where me talking about the appearance after kind of feels a little off. But that's just how these episodes work
Eh,
sometimes. But I feel like it also kind of works.
yeah,
It's like
we
so
combine all through meticulous research of all the sightings. We have determined what he looks like.
right. And like I feel it comes together better. I feel like if we do the history and then we do the stories, and then we
Yeah.
do the appearance. Like you
Mm-hmm.
kind of like start to
The
visualize it.
full picture. Let us know. Let us know if you think we should reorder it.
Yeah.
We're here. We're just out here making a podcast.
I have a I have a suggestion box. It is my paper shredder that says suggestions on it, and it just goes right. No, I'm kidding.
Boomer.
Unless it's mean, then I put it in
Yeah.
there.
Anyway, what the heck does the Dark Watcher look like?
So, they kind of look like the Hat Band. So they stand anywhere from 7 to 15 feet tall. Wild. That's a tall boy.
It's pretty
Um,
average.
they have, they have a lanky appearance. Facial features aren't defined at all, and they really just appear as a dark shadow or silhouette in the distance. Sometimes people rarely say they see eyes, very rarely, because they can't even distinguish
Yeah.
it. And sometimes, if it is an eye, it's commonly mistaken as a shadow person. So
Yeah.
there is that.
There's just a goth out there trying to enjoy a hike, and everyone's pointing at him,
It's just a goth.
terrified.
Or it's Batman, just
How tall is
batting.
Batman?
It's always Batman. um, Fashion wise, it probably is a goth because they dress head to toe in all black. They wear a flowing cloak with a wide brimmed hat. I like to think it's kind of like a Spanish explorer hat. It kind of makes sense of like the history and
Mm-hmm.
everything when they were seen. And they are sometimes seen carrying a staff or some sticks in a hand, or even sometimes a walking cane, like they
Mm-hmm.
are going on a hike.
Dapper.
So that makes sense to me. And so appearance wise, they're pretty simple, and personality wise, it's kind of the same thing. For starters, they are completely silent and they are minding their own business. For the most part, they can be spotted around twilight, staring upwards towards the sky while standing atop the mountains. Uh, we don't know like anything about their personality other other than they just seem to be doing their own thing. Um,
No one's gotten close enough.
no one has broken down that wall and seen that vulnerable side of them, which is really sad when you think about
You
it.
can fix him, listeners.
Listen, 7 foot people,
15 foot.
7 to 15.
Mm-hmm.
You can fix him. He's just looking up at the sky, waiting for someone to ask him about his day. So, but from what we can gather, they seem to have exceptional hearing and impeccable eyesight. They also seem, this is going to be Ryan's favorite, afraid of high tech equipment. So they will only reveal themselves to travelers
Mm-hmm.
carrying simple
Mm-hmm.
possessions
Yeah.
such as hats and walking
Yep. They
sticks.
won't show up for a camera.
They won't show up for a camera.
No. Classic. Honestly, that's the move. At least these guys have an excuse.
So they're scared of high tech equipment. You gotta be
So
a
does no one see
simple
them
folk.
anymore? Because who doesn't have a cell phone on them?
Well, if you want to see them, you just gotta be a simple folk, is
Mm-hmm.
all it is. And then you'll
Bring
see
your
them.
bring your old Nokia flip phone. You'll be fine.
They're not scared of the iPod
No.
Nano, you
No.
know. I I would like to see at what iPhone generation they
Yeah.
stop appearing at. You know
Hey,
what I mean?
California is not too far. We could go test the theory. I still have most of my old iPhones. We could just work our way backwards.
Just each night, we're like, is this it?
Yeah.
This is it?
Watcher?
Watch it.
Watcher? Nope. iPhone X, no good. iPhone 7 suddenly appeared.
See which update it is. Maybe it's like a
Yeah.
special
Oh
update for
yeah.
it. But now we're on to something. This is the real science cryptid zoologists should be doing. Um, man, they hate us so much. I just know it. So
It's okay.
now, now, though they aren't dangerous, that doesn't mean they aren't creepy. So dark watchers are known to stalk travelers along the mountain range. So, witnesses have described feelings of uneasy, eerie stillness in the air and the feeling of eyes watching their every movement as they wander through the mountain range.
Hmm.
And it seems like someone is always lingering, but they're just out of reach, which I feel is the average girl experience walking through the city at night.
Yeah.
So,
Yeesh.
just outside in the mountains now. But yay! Nowhere is safe. Even though this is sure to make anyone's skin crawl, some say these aloof spirits are just silent guardians of the region watching over those who travel through. And I like to think of that because it brings me much more comfort than a creep in
Yeah,
the forest.
yeah, it's Batman. They're watching over you.
It's just Batman.
The silent
It's just
protector. Not the protector the mountain range needed, but the one it deserved. Not the other way around. Not the one it deserved, but the one it needed. Ever vigilant. Where's the Joker hiding?
I I'm s- I'm I'm so
Commissioner
glad.
Gordon, we gotta protect this mountain range.
I'm so
It's
glad.
alright. They brought a cell phone. They don't need watching. They can call emergency services.
Did you did you get a lot of your system?
Yeah, I think so.
You got okay. See, I that's why I got up and I left when you did the movie review because I felt like that was for you. Like
It
you
was.
needed that
And I did. I
space.
did need that today.
So let's do history and events for you. Let's Mr. Batman. So um let's talk about locations. So
Those who don't
sure.
research history are doomed to repeat it, just like the hikers of the Santa Lucia Mountain. We gonna do a podcast or what?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, dead air,
That
dead
was
air.
that was rude of me. Yeah, today. I'm sorry. How rude of me. The audacity. Sure. The Santa, let me get back to the show. The Santa Lucia Mountains are a beautiful landscape that is perfect for outdoor enthusiasts and hikers and apparently Batman, but it is also an incredibly eerie location. So, now something that is very hard to explain, especially because I haven't been there, but it's just how eerie the mountains are. So, I wanted to ask, have you been to this mountain range before?
I don't think so.
Because I'm not sure if you have.
Um, no, I don't believe so. I'm
Okay.
looking at a map, but it's
Because
like
I
kind of like up by like San Luis Obispo, which I have been there, so maybe, but not like actively throughout the mountains.
yeah, I think we've like been close by it, but we haven't
Yeah.
been like on it kind of
I mean,
thing.
it's a whole ass mountain range too, so I mean, it's pretty big.
Right. So that's fine. So that was just like a curiosity question. But
Yeah.
so this topic was suggested to me, and from what I was told and what I gathered from research is that you can just feel the history of the whole area. So I read so many articles that said just standing on the mountains at night, you can close your eyes and just listening, you can take in the energy from the centuries before. You can feel the people, the spirits of natives, the Catholic and Spanish settlers, and the military history, and how
Huh,
intense it is, which I think is really
interesting.
crazy. Like, I've felt that before. I can't remember where I was in California. I was like it was like in a Spanish, like little settler town. and I like went with Edgar and his family, and I had a ghost attached to me, and I think it was
Mm.
because I was the white one in his
Yeah. All
Mexican
right,
family.
we gotta figure out what this is all about.
They're like, "What's the Brazilian American doing here?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "I don't belong here. I should not be here. They don't want me here." But it's just crazy energy. So like this story, just like talking about doesn't seem so intense,
Yeah.
but I could imagine like going there and then discussing it would be a whole different
Yeah.
ballpark, which
Again,
is like
not that far. We can do this. This is a
I
very doable expedition.
I know, maybe we'll do it next year.
I
I have
think
so
we
much
should.
going on next year.
Yeah.
Man, I'm getting married next
We'll figure it
year.
out. I know.
I feel
Honeymoon in Santa Lucia mountain range.
Oh
Don't
man,
bring
maybe
any
maybe
technology
that's
with you.
Edgar, I have a great idea. We're going to do everything I never wanted to do for my honeymoon.
Perfect.
You're going to throw me in the mountains with no
Mm-hmm. With
technology.
no technology.
No
Not
technology.
even a camera.
Not even a camera. No straightener for my bangs, nothing.
Nope.
We're just going to raw
Mm-mm.
dog nature. It's going to be
Nope.
great.
It's the way to do it.
Oh man, I would just cry. I'm a glamping girl till the day I die. You're a glamper too. What you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes.
What you mean sometimes?
I like a 10 every once in a while.
You like
But
a
it is
glamping tent. What
no.
you
What,
mean?
what are you talking about?
Okay. I've seen your dog on your camping trips.
Oh yeah,
Is
well Pablo's bougie. Pablo likes to
Okay,
sleep
that's
in the
fair.
car because he gets freezing
Okay,
in our tents.
that is fair.
Yeah,
Okay, that is fair. I am judging your camping
yeah.
based off your
Based off my
dog,
dog. Yeah.
off the photos I see of your dog on your
Yeah.
camping
When
trips.
someone brings a trailer with us, Pablo tends to sleep in the trailer and I'm out in my tent on my little bed pad. Like, this feels
Pablo's
wrong.
living his best life, like all cozy, like with a
Yeah.
little blanket and his toys and
Hmm.
treats. And he
Yep.
still looks absolutely miserable, and it's
Yeah,
my favorite
100%.
thing
Yeah,
ever.
he hates camping.
He's like, "Why am I out
Yeah.
here?"
He's a city dog.
I love him so much for it. But anyway, um, again, this is just kind of to fill space, but this is something that is good to bring up when we do talk about these topics. Sometimes it's just hard. Like if you're not there, you're not in the location, you really
Hmm.
can't just talk about how eerie stuff is. So we definitely joke about things, but sometimes you just gotta go places,
It's
go
true.
explore, get out there. We just broke. We can't do that shit. So when you guys go explore and you write about things, make us feel stuff, you
Yeah.
know? Make us feel it through your writing. All right. So now, normally I try so hard in my research. I didn't do this. Okay. I try to tie in fun historical facts, but there really wasn't a lot about the Spanish going to explore the West
Hmm.
Coast
Yeah,
that I could
that's a
find.
whole history podcast. Go watch that.
That's it's so
Yeah.
much, I couldn't find, like, any fun, like, little
Yeah.
blurbs, and there's, like, a lot of, like, ghost stories, and it's like, I don't
That's fine.
wanna
That's fine.
get into that. So we are just gonna jump into science, or is it the
Hmm.
church? And if I had my soundboard, I'd press my soundboard right now. So I'm doing it in post.
Sometimes there's stuff science can't explain. In moments like that, we rely on our saviors. Sometimes even the Batman can't save you, neither, even though I'm a dark watcher. And in these instances, we rely on the only thing left, and that's the church. Is it the church?
No, Batman.
No?
It is not. It is
Oh.
not. It
Yeah, I
is
was
not the
pretty confident on
church.
this one. I was like,
You
oh, Spanish,
you were
Spanish,
very
hmm.
confident on this one.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Sometimes when you can't rely on the church, you have to circle back. And my actual answer is science. Just like the science I use to create the tools to fight the evil of Gotham.
I'm surprised you didn't say science. Batman
Yeah.
being a man of science
Yeah,
with
well, but sometimes science can't explain everything was like the moral of the speech that I gave there, and so like
mm,
when
mm,
science fails, all you have left is the church. But
mm.
anyway, how is it
Okay.
science? How
Okay,
does this
Batman.
work?
So, okay, Batman.
Batman wants to learn.
Oh, all right, Batman. Well, take a seat because this week is nothing but science.
Mm,
And don't worry, there's actually three different theories.
three.
Three,
Oh
three
boy, I
different
was super wrong.
three different scientific theories.
Okay.
So it ends up balancing this little history segment at the end, which works out great with our timing and all this stuff
Yeah.
and editing and all this stuff. All right, first one. Some believe that it is caused by Bronchen specter phenomenon.
Hmm.
So, if you look at this photo, so for all of our lovely video listeners, um, I'll explain, I'll read this and then we'll kind of explain a little bit more. So, this is an optical illusion that happens when the observer's magnified shadow is seen on the clouds, which amplifies the shadow size before it evaporates. This happens when the sun is
Mm.
low and conditions are just right. The shadow is cast by the hikers onto the mist, making it appear as if a tall, shadowy figure, aka a dark watcher, is nearby. So kind of think of like there is a circle of light.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of a good way to explain. Okay.
Like a
Think
camera, little
yeah, so
pinhole. Yeah.
oh yeah, so think of a lens flare of light. Like you're on a mountain and you're looking out at the sea and you just see kind of like the misty clouds. Like that's all you see in the sky. And there's like a lens flare, like a circle lens flare kind of with a rainbow, but you see the reflection of your shadow on the mist. Like your
Mm.
shadow's just teeing it and it's just a very quick and it kind of evaporates.
That would explain the sighting where the guy like said like he took a puff of a cigarette and the shadow man took a puff of his cigarette and he waved and it waved.
Right.
And it also explains the one who said it looked like a horse because that person was actually a horse that wrote that story. So
Right.
mhm.
So that one
Makes a little bit of sense.
makes a little bit of sense. This is one where they have time to capture a photo,
Mhm.
and the whole point of a dark watcher is you don't have time to capture a photo. So
Yeah.
this one would check out in those
And this photo in the
instances.
slideshow, this is a real photo?
Yes, this is an actual
Oh, that's
photo.
crazy. I've never heard of that before. That's pretty wild.
So it's a fun phenomenon. You
Mhm.
can if you look up Brocken specter phenomenon, you can actually find a few different photos like it, which
Hmm.
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just a fun little science thing, which I thought
Yeah.
was really interesting. But that is the first idea. I could see where this would be creepy if you're by yourself, maybe exhausted after a long hike and you see that.
Mhm.
I would be a little bit scared too.
Yeah.
And all right. So the next one is that they are actually caused by infras- infrasounds. So,
Hmm.
an infrasound is between 7 and 18. I want to say this, I think it's HZ. Is that
Hurts?
correct?
Yeah.
Hertz? Thank
Mhm.
you. So, that's just below the range of a normal human hearing, and it can be generated by wind, among other things. So, this can cause physical and psychological effects on people, such as anxiety, paranoia, and insomnia. And it can cause the eyes to vibrate, which can lead to visual hallucinations. I don't know why I went so hard on visual right there.
Mhm.
Um,
Visual hallucinations.
visual, visual. It
That's
is often
interesting.
is often caused by ocean waves or wind passing through mountains, which are common environments where dark watchers are spotted.
Hmm.
So, fun little experiment. In 2003, a psychologist and paranormal debunker. So, already I I don't like him because he's like not here for the spookiness, but
Yeah.
we'll hear him out, right? Richard Wiseman. Also, I don't like him because Wiseman, but hear him out. Still hearing him out. And several of his other British colleagues, a third, no, conducted
A third reason.
a third reason, conducted an infrasound experiment. In it, they subjected don't giggle at me. In it, they subjected some 700 people to a concert featuring 4 pieces of music, 2 of which contained 17 hertz tones at a volume just at the edge of human hearing. As a result, some 22% of the audience reported feeling anxious, uneasy, or fearful. Others reported a pressure on their chest or chills running up and down their spine.
Hmm,
Having these low frequency sounds can cause people to have unusual experience even though they cannot consciously detect the infrasounds.
that's
So,
interesting.
the idea is the wind passing through the mountains are causing these low frequencies that are messing with your brain that cause you to hallucinate.
I mean, that one would kind of make sense in a way. I mean, this one
So,
doesn't talk about visual hallucinations though, but like all the
right,
feeling of like being uneasy and you're being watched and stuff. Like,
right.
yeah,
So it's like an aspect of it. So it's really interesting because like I feel all these theories are aspects of it, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Which like I don't feel like one explains it all completely, which I feel when we've done other sightings or other cryptids, I it like one thing is all encompassing. I feel these are definitely parts of them. If
yeah.
that makes sense. And then the last one, the final one and most popular one, is a theory that the Dark Watchers are nothing more than the result of. I looked up how to pronounce it, and I can't remember now. Is pareidolia? So it is a psychological phenomenon where the human brain seeks out familiar patterns and shapes in a vague or random image. So for all of our lovely audio listeners, I have pulled up the image of the Jesus burnt toast that was trending a few years back.
Am I crazy
That
that
sold.
I see like Marilyn Monroe in that toast and not Jesus?
You are not.
I swear.
This sold on eBay for
So I just want to
$25,000.
throw it out there. Technically, you're talking about the church right now. So in a way, I've kind of got it right.
You got like a third of a point.
Yeah,
I will give
we'll
you.
call it a tie. 50-50.
You're like, I want that point. God damn it. um. So so this phenomenon is like when they saw Jesus in the burnt toast. Or when you go to sleep and you know that pile of clothes you don't want to put away in the corner of your
Mhm.
room and you think it's like a person and you like turn
Mhm.
on your light and
All the time.
you're like, oh, that's it. That's what this is. So in the case of dark watchers, the mountaintop shadows with the combination of fog or low flying clouds can trigger this.
Hmm.
So it's our desire to make things look like
Yeah.
people or shapes
It's a
behind
survival
them.
instinct. That's how we're so good at spotting stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we see patterns.
Oh, well,
Go
see, I didn't even
humans. Look at us.
know that. Yeah, we gotta have something
We
going
got
for
one thing
us
going
after.
for us. That's how we lasted this long.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh man, yeah, sure. That's why we're still going. How long is a civilization? 250 years? Is
Nah, we're
that what it is?
fine. We're
We're at
fine.
243.
I'm
Is
talking
that?
humans in general.
Oh, okay, okay.
This is it's like a real thing. That's like ancient hunters and stuff. Like that's why we're so good at like spotting prey and stuff like
Oh,
that. Is
that's so
because
interesting.
like think of like shitty camouflage works on like a deer, but like we could see like a deer just standing in a field because we're good at seeing like we're just good at seeing stuff. We got
Oh,
special eyes.
oh my goodness. I have to send you this video that blew my mind. Um, for some reason, I I've found my way onto hunting TikTok, and
Interesting. Okay.
I I don't understand the algorithm right now. There's a lot going on. I think it's trying to understand me and it just can't right
Probably.
now. Um, and it was like this new camouflage that came out, and it was I couldn't even tell. It like broke my brain.
Oh,
They were like,
crazy.
"Can you see the camouflage?" And then the person just stood up and I was like, "No way." I replayed that clip like for an hour
Wow,
and I
that's
still
awesome.
couldn't see it. I'll send it to you. I'll put it
Okay.
in our Discord and it will mess with people. It like I still can't process it. I
Hmm.
think I saved it because I was like, "There's no way. I still don't understand how it works." And they're like, "This is the newest." And you look at the camouflage and it looks like pixels. Like it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. It's anyway, wild, wild stuff out there. I don't, the brain is crazy, y'all. But anyway, those are the three theories up to what is really kind of going on. My final thoughts is I wrote this thing. I'm not even going to read it. Oh yeah, I should read that part.
It's
That
lack
part's
of
actually
oxygen.
yeah, lack of oxygen. You're up there, you're hiking. There not a lot of air. Not a
No.
lot going to the brain.
Just a
Like
combination of everything, I think
it's
makes sense.
yeah,
Or forest
so
spirits.
yeah, of course.
Hmm.
I don't know. I real this is one I really think is this is solid to me.
Yeah,
I
this one
I'm
seems
a
very possible.
I'm a big forest spirit girly and
Hmm.
just just seems right. Forest spirits forest spirits that are just kind of leaving people alone
Yeah.
are way more believable than things that are going out of their way to hurt people. That
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Agreed.
That's just it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got anything else for us, Batman?
No,
You
we just
want to
gotta
say?
do our do we have any announcements?
Oh, we actually do.
Nope.
Time for the lore report, and if sound and post.
Ooh. Okay. I'm assuming I'm on the right one. So, great
Yes,
news. And I found out yesterday, very exciting. The 12 Days of Krampus incoming, everyone's favorite time of year, especially mine. Um, so, yeah, it's coming to the Aloreing Campground. So make sure you're following us on our social media channels. We're on Instagram, TikTok. We're on everything. A lot, mostly Instagram. Go follow us there.
we'll be doing more of YouTube too, because I need to be better of YouTube. Which means I'll be making Ryan do more of YouTube.
Woo.
Is what will happen. Um, and then y'all, holidays are quickly approaching. I know you guys don't skip those middle ads
No, never.
because you guys are wonderful listeners and you
Mm-hmm.
would never skip our sponsorship ads ever.
Ever.
So, because you don't, I'm just simply reminding you to go check out our shop for the holidays and look at some festive stuff. Support an indie podcast, support an indie artist, and get some indie merch. I don't know why putting indie in front of everything just makes it feel like you're
Just
cooler.
works. It's true.
Just works.
Mm-hmm.
That's the marketing we're doing.
Yeah.
That's all we got. Aloreingshop.com.
Yep. Hit
Yo,
up that link. All right.
dog,
And now
do it.
for back to the Alluring alignment chart.
Or an alignment chart, baby.
I didn't know what to do. So I
Really?
put it neutral because like they don't do anything. They're just there. You know, like I don't think I can call them good or evil or lawful or chaotic because they're just aberrations standing off in the distance.
You just put them straight in the
Yeah.
middle.
Now if we're going with the Batman theory, chaotic good, easy.
Okay. I put mine a little bit more towards good neutral. This is my theory.
Mm-hmm.
My theory is they show up to kind of like scare you on your way. Does that make
Mm.
sense? Like
Yeah, it's kind of like what are the ones we did a couple episodes ago that did the same thing? The was it Banshees? Yeah, Banshees, right? That like they're like a warning of death, but they're not necessarily evil themselves.
they're messengers of death.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah, like
that. Not
kind of like
necessarily death,
banshees.
but the same general vibe.
Yeah, I feel like to me, I like the idea that they were the I want to say it wrong. Let me scroll up in our notes so I don't butcher the Spanish language yet again for like the third episode in a
The
row.
vigilantes.
So I don't disgrace my Latin
Los
ancestors.
vigilantes oscuros or
The
something like that.
Spanish colonists. There we go. Jesus.
Mm,
My ancestors from my mother's side are rolling in their graves. They are so disappointed in me.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I guess I didn't count for that part of them thinking that it was like spirits trying to make sure they went the right direction.
yeah, so like to me, I love the idea that it's them trying to keep people on the path and keep them moving. Like, hey, don't keep get moving.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I think they're doing good things. They're just like, hurry up, get on their way. Because
Yeah.
that's how I feel like that side of my family is. Where they're like, hey, like,
Yeah.
go.
Go.
They're like, vámonos. Aquí. It's just how they are. It's very funny, and I love it very much. They're very fast paced, and I love
Yeah.
it. But so
All right. Well,
that's how I see it.
yeah, takeaway? I got
Oh,
my takeaway.
I know you got your
Mm-hmm.
takeaway. Oh man. Um, I'm gonna do a sweet. I want to do a sweet,
Okay.
wholesome
All right.
takeaway. Don't stray from the given path. I think a little sweet,
Very nice. Very
a little
nice.
wholesome, a little
Yeah.
genuine.
Mine is in the same vein. It's when Gotham needed him the most, he vanished into the mountains of California. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. This has been Aloreing.
I yeah, what's my line? What?
That was your line.
That was my line. Yeah,
You guys just have the most alluring day ever, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
bye.
Kimmy, this is where you say bye. Okay, yeah, cool.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.